What's up, everybody? Welcome back into First Take. Another hour. Stephen A., Max Kellerman, Ryan Clark in the house. I'm Molly Karam. Stephen A., what are you hot on in hour number 2?
Julio Jones. That's what I'm hot on. I'm going to tell you something more about him than just being the best receiver in football.
Okay.
You know, people are asking nowadays whether, after what just happened in Pittsburgh with the Facebook thing, should Antonio Brown be getting treated the way Odell Beckham is treated by the media? And the answer is no. He should be treated worse right now.
Okay, interested to hear that as well. Let's get into it, gentlemen. Tom Brady started the season, suspended the first 4 games because of Deflategate, and will end the season playing in the Super Bowl for a record 7th time. Deflategate is something in New England that people are still salty about. Here's what Patriots owner Robert Kraft told the New York Times about the Deflategate penalties. Sometimes the league really messes up, and I think they really messed this up badly. But we've all agreed to subjugate our right to disrupt everything. I mean, we can, but we're a partnership. There's jealousy, there's envy, there's stupidity. Sometimes life is unfair, and you have to suck it up and move on and not use it as an excuse. Stephen A., do you think Tom Brady completely obliterated the Deflategate scandal?
Well, I think he did in this sense. It's certainly not something that you think too much about now. When you watch him perform, you ain't thinking Deflategate. You're thinking about the fact that this might be the best quarterback in history. Even though I'm still a Joe Montana guy, he's in that discussion. You're thinking about the greatness he exudes. You're thinking about the fire in his belly. You're thinking about the fact that, again, this dude is en route to capturing his 5th Super Bowl title. And so when you look at it from that perspective, the Deflategate momentum quells in comparison to that. Now, in a roundabout way, you might be thinking about Deflategate because ultimately you're thinking about the vengeance he supposedly wants to exact against Commissioner Roger Goodell, and that might have Deflategate on your mind. But you don't look at Tom Brady and think about deflated footballs and say, he cheated, he got an unfair advantage. You think about Tom Brady and you say, that's a bad somebody. This brother's no joke. And that's the ultimate emotion that comes through your mind. So being that that's the case, I can't sit up there and say that Deflategate is still relevant. It's relevant because of the vengeance factor, but it's not relevant in terms of looking at Tom Brady, dissecting his game, and saying to yourself, does he really deserve what he has? There's no question. The greatness that's associated with his name is well earned and well deserved.
I am disturbed by, I mean, you look around the world right now, especially in you know, the Western Hemisphere, this wave of populism that's sweeping the globe. And it is connected to this idea of might makes right, you know, of this idea that the winners are vindicated by the fact that they won. And it's like a post-moral world. I don't like this. Now, the idea that somehow if the Patriots win, that obliterates Deflategate, which was a cheating scandal, doesn't make sense to me on a basic level. Unless you're staying by the idea that they didn't cheat and they were unfairly treated. And I will admit that early on, it seemed as though, stop making excuses, they got caught cheating. And since then, in terms of the evidence that's come forward, I think the tide has turned, and at least a slight majority overall, just outside the New England area, obviously, feel that maybe they were treated unfairly. I understand why someone would feel like if they win, it obliterates Deflategate only in this respect. And I want to talk about baseball very quickly for a second. There's lots of different ways to cheat in baseball. Babe Ruth was caught with a corked bat. But there's no hard evidence that tells you a corked bat actually helps you hit a home run, so who cares? But steroids and human growth hormone, absolutely 100% that's causal. They help you hit home runs. They help make you be better than you were. And so people have a different reaction to that. I think maybe Patriots fans are feeling, look, even if we cheated, or let's say Patriots fans are saying they didn't, neutral observers, even if they cheated, they won anyway. They destroyed the Colts on their way to winning the Super Bowl in the game in which they were caught. And this year, if they win, it shows you that even if they did cheat, it wouldn't have mattered. From that point of view, I understand. But this idea that simply if you win in the end, it doesn't matter whether or not you cheated is absurd.
Let me just add one thing. I think it's so simple. I think it's that people felt that they needed it to cheat. They needed this unfair advantage to win. And now he's showing there's no deflated footballs, and I still get it done. And I realize that happened in the second half. But not so I think it's just as basic as that. Like, he doesn't need the advantage.
One last comment about that. And from this point of view, I also understand if Patriots fans feel like persecuted in a way. The Patriots are so much better than everyone else for so long now because of the Patriot way, which is a real thing, separated from any kind of cheating, videotaping, deflating footballs, whatever, that I understand if Patriots fans are like, well, look, I know you all are trying to figure out why we're better than you, and you think that it's because we have to cheat, but in fact, no, we go about our business better than you, so we're better than you. I understand that point of view. The idea, though, that simply winning obliterates cheating is not true.
Yeah, I agree with that. In this situation, in Deflategate, I don't think the question was ever Tom Brady's ability to throw a football that was inflated to the correct levels, or to throw one that was a little bit less. It's never been a question of, can Tom Brady complete passes, right? The reason Tom Brady was punished the way he was, the reason that the Patriots were punished the way they were, was because of the subsequent investigation and the way they handled that. We know that it's a strict fine for not having the footballs inflated to the point that they were, but they were so hell-bent on not being seen as cheaters, they handled the investigation in a certain way. When Tom Brady plays quarterback, I agree with Stephen A. I think nothing about deflated footballs. I think about Tom Brady's greatness. I think about the fact that he's on his way to becoming, if he wins this, and maybe without winning this, the most accomplished and greatest quarterback of all time. I understand that. But that does not take away the fact that this team, this organization, has a history of cheating. And that's not an opinion. That's not a guess. That is for sure. That's not me just talking. This is who they are. And yes, they are better than everyone. Yes, they conduct business in a different way that makes this an exceptional organization, an exceptional team. They are. Oh, they cheat. They have cheated. And that makes you a cheater. Now, if you look at many of the other teams, there's Carolina Panthers, they have cheated. They pumped sound into the stadium. Pittsburgh Steelers had an issue earlier on in this season that was investigated about footballs being deflated. And so there are other teams who have tried things. They're just better at it than other people. But when you sit in green rooms and when you talk to coaches, when you're at combines and when you're at Super Bowls and you're sitting at the tables with coaches, and coaches say, yeah, we knew they were videotaping. We knew they were videotaping our signs. So what we did was just run somebody on the field. When you talk to a player and they said every time you make a certain call, you can see them checking because they knew to call the signs. Yes, that's real. That's not fake. They know that. But it does not change the fact of what Tom Brady has accomplished. It does not make me look at him any differently as far as the player he is. Deflategate was about the person. It was about the way the person handled the situation, and that's why it was personal.
Let me debate with you on this level. I get where you're coming from because I've been there. On many, many occasions, I've made the argument against Tom Brady. I don't give a damn if it was Nerf footballs. He's a bad boy. He destroyed the Indianapolis Colts in that AFC Championship game, blah, blah, blah. I blame Tom Brady because of how he elected to handle the situation, because a lot of it could have been quelled, and he handled it correctly because, again, you're Tom Brady. Figure it out. Work with Roger Goodell behind the scenes and handle it. It became about you challenging the authority of the commissioner and the shield, and the commissioner raising up and saying, oh, no, we can't allow you to set precedent because if you win this against me, it'll open up Pandora's box and everybody will come this way and it'll be a nightmare. So we understood that. But I think it's important in the throes of what you're saying to highlight this. Tom Brady himself got to a point where he was fighting for his name. Tom Brady ain't interested in fighting somebody because they said the Patriots cheated. Tom Brady was fighting because you were saying he cheated. And what he was saying is, oh, hell no. That's not the Patriot, the brand that is the Patriots with Mr. Kraft, the great Mr. Kraft, with Bill Belichick and the rest of my teammates. I'm here by myself. You coming at me. And so when you isolated his name, when we asked the question, did it obliterate Deflategate? The reason why I say to a strong degree, yes, because when you think about Deflategate, you don't think about Tom Brady as in the throes of he cheated. You think about Deflategate in terms of him fighting and going after Roger Goodell because he believes he individually was smeared.
How does winning do that? How does winning change the perception?
Because what happens is when you go out there, because you're thinking they're under a microscope, there's no deflated footballs, there's nothing else that they'll get away with. I'm going out there, and regardless of what obstacles you threw in my face, taking 4 games away from me, having me sit at home, I still rolled up back in here, and the only team that beat me was the Seattle Seahawks. I'm coming for you, and that's that.
But this is,
that's what I'm saying.
Here's what I'm telling you.
We got to go after your
Okay, here's what I'm telling you. Nobody in the history of football who has ever put on those pads thought that the reason Tom Brady was good was because the footballs were deflated.
I agree.
So he can win a million games.
Haters did.
He could, but they,
They
no,
did.
no, it's not.
They
It's not.
did.
Haters are haters. Like they're crazy. What I'm saying is, people who play the game is what matters to Tom Brady. His peers matter. He didn't want to be seen like a cheater to them, but none of those people thought he was good because the footballs were flat.
Right. But he's going after Goodell because he believes that the league itself.
I can't believe that y'all think he cares.
Brown is less than impressive after a week of controversy involving Facebook Live. So should Brown be getting more criticism? Don't miss that discussion.